subscribe to the channel. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah!
And the boys!
We're the Cowboys! And welcome back to the YouTube channel. I am Nick from Australia. Welcome to the Thursday Night Football review for round 11 of the 2023 NRL season. And we saw the Melbourne Storm get a win over the Brisbane Broncos tonight, 24 points to 16. But it has to be said, very controversial referee decision on tonight's game, and I enjoyed by really YouTuber TJC Sports. TJC Sports, bro, I hope you're well. Obviously, we both did our own streams on the game tonight, the live reaction, and I think we both agree the refereeing tonight just wasn't up to NRL standard.
Oh, hell no, mate. Too many decisions. I only agreed with literally, I could probably count on my one hand the amount of decisions I agreed with tonight. It was absolutely dreadful from the refs. My gosh, mate. Glad to be here.
Mate, it's good to have you on, mate. And we're going to get into the penalty counts, and we're going to get into the 6 against very soon. We're going to get into some of the decisions that were just shocking tonight. I have been on Twitter for the last 5 minutes, and Twitter is blowing up. I would not be surprised if hashtag penalty Melbourne starts trending on Twitter, or Melbourne referee decisions. I don't know. You know what? If Kevin Walters doesn't go off his head in the press conference, I might be surprised, because surely he said something about that. Like, that was ridiculous.
No, I'll be shocked if nothing's said from them. I'll be really surprised if they don't say anything about that, because it was just ridiculous of a game. Like let's not give credit to the fact that the Broncos held him for so long with all those decisions against them is crazy.
Yes. Now, before we get into the review, guys, if you are new to the channel, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Check out the YouTube channel of TJC Sports, and if I stand correct, didn't you just hit 2K on YouTube, TJC?
Yeah, we just hit it a few hours ago. Absolutely, mate. It's absolutely incredible feeling.
Congratulations, you deserve it, bro.
Thank you so much, man. It feels absolutely incredible. I'm sure you remember you hitting your first 2K.
I remember it well, mate. You should do like a live celebration. Thank you for it, bro. That's outstanding.
Oh, absolutely. We're going to be doing it tomorrow, probably before the game streams.
Yeah. Sounds great. All right. Hello to the live chat. A bit of a crowd here starting to build up now, which is looking fantastic. Look, Melbourne Storm fans here. Viking King, Faraz, Devils_Side, Big Black Voodoo. I love that name in the chat. It's fucking funny.
I know, right? It's an absolutely amazing name.
Metal Panther, Cody Games PlayStation, Yeet Boy, Damien from Newcastle, CJ, Devils_Side. Hello, everyone. Jason Reader. All right. If I miss you, I apologize. I'm just trying to get to the live chat. All right. Melbourne Storm 24, Brisbane Broncos 16. Wow. Referee decisions tonight. I don't know, like, I want to say Broncos robbed, but I don't know if I can. Oh my God. Okay. I don't know if I'll say Broncos robbed, but what I will say is every single 50-50 call tonight went to Melbourne. Every single dodgy decision tonight went to Melbourne. And they had 2 sin bins in the game. They had one, Herbie Farnworth, one at the end from Flagler, Carrigan. They had 3 sin bins. So Brisbane spent 60 minutes of this game where they were down to 13 or 12. That's insane.
Oh, man, I can't believe it. The fact that they spent so much at this game, whether it was a terrible decision against them or being a man down, they showed so much resilience today. Far out, man. I'm furious with the refs' decisions, but even as just a neutral fan, I think you feel the same way, man.
I think Broncos supporters need to write this down on a piece of paper, stick it on their wall. Referee Todd Smith, the redhead, he was against the Broncos tonight. It seemed like, so remember the name, Todd Smith, redhead. Write it
I
down on a
knew
piece
we
of
were
paper,
in
stick it up
trouble.
on the wall. And when the Broncos find out who the referee is for their upcoming games, if they get Todd Smith, know what to expect, because tonight was disgusting, I thought.
Oh, mate, tonight was not good enough from the ref. He should be demoted for it, seriously.
I think he will be, bro. I think he will be. And you know what? I don't usually say this because I've been praising the referees all season. I don't reckon they've got a lot wrong. But
No,
I've,
they've been really good compared to like previous years where they've been absolutely
yes,
dreadful. This season, they've really knuckled down on the actual rules. I'm a big fan of
yeah,
that.
yeah. I thought tonight was probably the top three worst officiated games all season. I thought it was terrible. And look, I don't want to blame it on Melbourne. Go back to Anzac Day against the Warriors. Remember that? Remus Smith knock on and the Warriors
Oh,
were
yeah.
gutted. So this is another game this year where Melbourne have got away with, which was just ridiculous.
Look, I don't think you can blame, like, at the end of the day, it's the refs making the decisions, not
Exactly
Melbourne
right.
themselves.
Exactly
Like, you
right.
can't actually hate on Melbourne for it.
Yeah, it's
The
not Melbourne's
sole blame
fault.
here
Yeah.
should be on the refs.
It's not Melbourne's fault. It's just the
Yeah.
referee, and I thought it was really poor. And it's a bit of a coincidence that it's happened again in favour of Melbourne, which is why I'm starting to question a few things. What's going on?
Oh, yeah.
Why
No,
Melbourne getting
it's
all these
really
dodgy
weird.
calls?
Like, people can go, oh, you just don't like these top teams, but there are a few top teams where the decisions seem to go in their favour when
Penrith for one
with
of
that
them.
stuff.
Penrith
Sometimes.
another one. You know, I don't want to upset anybody here, but with all due respect to Melbourne Storm supporters out there, Melbourne have been getting away with these dodgy 50-50 calls since fucking 2006. Been going on for years. Maybe
Yeah, I
even
don't think I've
longer.
been alive to witness them not get a dodgy call in their favour in a year.
Oh mate, trust me, you didn't want to you didn't want to be around for that. But I thought the refereeing tonight was really poor, and I think referee Todd Smith may need a week in reserve grade just to get some confidence back up, because I thought he was shocking tonight.
100%, man. 100%.
Now, Melbourne, they were not convincing at all. Now, obviously, the big talking point, TJC, they lost Adam Reynolds to a terrible face plant where he was ruled out of the game. Now, Melbourne were up against a Reynolds-less Broncos team. They were unable to put him away for a long time. They had a 13-12 advantage for at least 60 minutes of this game. Yet Melbourne only won by 8. They struggled to win. Are Melbourne pretenders or what? What's the go?
Look, I wouldn't call them pretenders, but what I would say is that was not a good enough game from them. If you get rid of the poor referee calls, I really don't know if they have a good game here, especially if like Reynolds stays on the field and maybe Herbie Farnworth rightfully doesn't get sin binned.
We'll get into that. Don't worry.
We'll get into that, but I'm just saying, I have a feeling that the Broncos, even though they lost, showed a lot more reason for them to be the contenders that they are than the Storm did.
I'm not having a go at Melbourne here, but let me just start by saying, dare I say, if Adam Reynolds doesn't go off the field, he plays the whole match, Brisbane probably win.
You know what? It's impossible to really say, but I think that you may be right, man. I mean, look how they were looking when he was on the field.
You know what? I understand teams are entitled to an off night, an off game. I understand that. We watched Melbourne last week against Souths. I was there live in person, and they were humiliated by Souths last week. And Melbourne won tonight very unconvincingly. This might sound ridiculous. And again, my opinion could change in the coming weeks and as the season goes on. I don't think Melbourne can win the premiership. I don't think they're contenders. I reckon they're pretenders.
Yeah, I don't think they can win it either, mate. But that kind of says a lot from me, considering Para aren't even in the 8.
Oh, don't worry. We're not in the 8 either.
Yeah, we're not even in the 8, and we're saying this, man.
We got the same record, bro.
Nah, mate, we're going to bounce back, all right? We're going to take Melbourne's spot and another team's one, maybe the Wars.
Wouldn't that be good? Oh, the poor. Oh, not the Wars. Oh, the poor Wars. Feel for it. Every week, every week,
Manly.
every
How about
week they
Manly?
get all the bad calls. Oh, far out. All right. Let's get into some of these sin bins. I want to talk about some of these sin bins, man. Fuck.
Right.
Where do I begin? Right. Let's start with the Herbie Farmworth one. Mate, what the hell was Herbie Farmworth meant to do? He didn't even fucking change his line.
I know. I was saying it on my stream. I was like, what did he do? What did he actually do? What's he meant to do there? You know, he's standing there where he should be, and the Storm players come looking for it, in my opinion. He's come looking for it. He's gone down, and suddenly it's Herbie Farnworth's fault, and he gets a sin bin. Like, it was barely a penalty to me.
In my opinion, TJC Sports, Herbie Farmworth didn't even change his line. He just stood there like a statue.
He didn't do anything wrong, and I feel like that was one of the moments where I went, yeah, this is going to be a shit day for the ref.
Bro, Raymond Smith auditioned for Australian Idol tonight. What an actor.
I know, right? He basically just walked past him and went, I'm dead on the ground.
Raymond Smith should just go and fucking become a consistent employee of Australia's Funniest Home Videos. Like, that was fucking ridiculous. I couldn't believe that. That was pathetic. So anyway, that was the first sin bin. Let's get to the Patrick Carrigan one, the hip drop. Now, I don't know what your view on this is, but live on air, I said it was a hip drop. I believe Carrigan, he spins himself around. I believe he jumps on Nelson's leg. And I believe Paddy Carrigan's hip drop was the right call. I believe it was a hip drop. I think he might be in a bit of trouble there, Carrigan. A bit like Jeremiah Nanai was.
Yeah.
Some will say it wasn't a hip drop. Some will say it was. Everyone will have a different view on it. But I think Carrigan's hip drop was fair.
No, I think it was a fair decision, mate. The moment I saw it, I was like, yeah, Pat Carrigan's got to go to the bin. It's not like Farnworth's one where it was just wrong. Pat Carrigan definitely did the wrong thing there, and I knew the moment I saw it wasn't a good tackle. Definitely a hip drop, man, for me.
I reckon they're going to be sweating on him, bro, the Broncos. They're going to be sweating on Carrigan because he makes them a much better team than we saw last year. Carrigan got suspended for a hip drop on Jackson Hastings, and I was there for that game. I think it was like round 22 or something, round 23. I can't remember what round it was. Might have been round 20. It was around that period, and Carrigan did a hip drop on Hastings last year, and he got suspended. And Carrigan's record with the hip drop is not great. So I think it's definitely a hip drop, and I think he might be looking at a few weeks. For Origin's sake, I hope he gets off, because when having Carrigan in Origin for Queensland would be great. We want the best players in Origin, but I think Carrigan's in all sorts. I reckon he'll get 3 weeks for this.
Oh, maybe he doesn't get at least. I was saying on my stream at least 2, but I could see about 3 weeks going for this one.
I think he got 4 weeks last year for the one on Hastings. So he's done it again, which doesn't help him. I'm not sure if there's any carryover points or how the system works, but I reckon tomorrow morning we will hear an announcement that Paddy Carrigan will be looking at 3 to 4 weeks. I really do.
Oh, I think I'm going to have to agree with you on that, Nick. It's not scripted. I'm not trying to agree with you on everything.
Yeah. Nothing scripted here. Everything's off the cuff. I haven't got a list of notes written down unless I absolutely need something to write down that I want to talk about that I may forget. But the only thing I've got in front of me right now is the NRL that happened. I'm just looking at it. That's literally it. I don't have a script. This is not WWE, guys. It's not a script.
Yeah, it's not a script. We're just coincidentally, for some reason, agreeing with everything.
Maybe good rugby league minds just
think alike.
Maybe that's what it is. So Carrigan gets binned for the hip drop, and how many other siblings were there? It was Herbie, Carrigan. What was the other one they had?
Wasn't it? Okay, forgive me if I'm wrong here. It was a ginger. Was it Flegler and Penne?
Oh, at the end.
Yeah, at the end, wasn't there like a little scuffle there, and they both got put in the bin?
Yeah, a bit of push and shove.
I was,
Well,
was definitely closer to our old Biffs than we usually get.
that was more Aaron Penne, though, wasn't it? That was more him.
Oh, the Bronco didn't do much, but at the same time, I get the ref's got to show his authority there, and at the end of the day, they can't be allowing players to be snapping in any way.
Yeah, look, I think Aaron Penne was definitely out of line. Flegler just couldn't help himself as well. I reckon that was probably the right call.
100%. I have no doubt in my mind that was the right call, really.
Now, I'm going to ask you this. The no try to Reece Walsh with the one-on-one strip. Do you reckon Ezra Mann was clear? Because that was bloody close.
I think it was 2-on-1, but it was close enough that I was not going to be shocked if they gave it. But going down to the tiniest little pixels, I felt like he touched it, like he was touching him.
Bloody close, because at that point in the game, it was 12-10 Brisbane. And if the Broncos had went in 16-12, that would have been a game changer. I think Ezra Mann just had his hands on Munster, but bugger me, it was close.
Man, it was way too bloody close, man. I think that you couldn't really argue either way that the bunker or the ref went for that decision. I think everybody, depending on the replay there, is going to have a different opinion on what they see there. I had the opinion of 2-on-1 barely, but I know plenty will say it was 1-on-1. I know, and plenty will agree with me too. It's a very 50-50 decision, that one. That's what we meant by 50-50, I reckon, heading into this.
Yeah. It was very tough. It was close. Also, we should mention as well, in the first half, the Herbie Farnworth penalty try. Personally, I reckon they got it right, because last week we saw the Raiders-Bulldogs game at the end. We saw that late penalty try at the end of that game, and that one was controversial, and I reckon they got it right. This one, Herbie Farnworth's in front of the ball. Yes, it's on the ground. He's in front of it. It's been taken out. I reckon they got the penalty try right for Herbie Farnworth. I really do.
Absolutely. I think, mate, the moment I saw it, I was looking at Reynolds going, how is that a try? But I wasn't paying attention to the Farnworth thing when I first watched it. And then they gave try, and I was like, wait, what? Wait a second. And then I had to look back. I was like, all right. Nah, definitely Grant does the wrong thing now.
I think it was the right call.
Yeah, it was definitely the right call, in my opinion. I just wasn't looking at that when I was first watching the try.
Yeah, no, it was a tough one. I think it was the right decision as well. Now, I don't want to be negative in saying this, but this needs to be addressed. When Adam Reynolds was down injured and he was off on a stretcher, the Melbourne supporters at Amy Park were booing him out of the building. I thought that was unsportsmanship. That was disgusting. I thought that was disgraceful.
Oh, mate, it wasn't right. It wasn't right. I don't get what, mate. Come on, guys.
Disgusting.
We're better than that. We're better than that as fans. We're better as NRL fans. All we want to do, you'll understand as a fellow content creator, all we want to do is encourage more people to get involved with the game we love. And
that's right.
Doing stuff like that's not going to encourage it at all.
Bro, I don't care what people's opinion is on the game. You're allowed to boo bad decisions.
Yeah.
You're allowed to go to a game and boo.
That's passion.
You're allowed to boo players. You're allowed to boo opinions. You're allowed to do that. But when someone's going off on a fucking stretcher and you're going to boo, I thought that was just disgusting and horrible behaviour from the Melbourne supporters at Amy Park. I thought that was terrible.
Look, it doesn't shock me though, man. I've been to plenty of games at Amy Park, having lived there for almost a decade, and trust me, a lot of them are like that. I know not every Storm fan is like that. We've got some cool Storm fans that follow both of us and stuff. But
look, I've got some great Melbourne fans. Shout out to Luke Melbourne Storm fan. Shout out to SS Storm fan.
Exactly.
Shout out to Sally. I met Sally up at Magic Round last week in Brisbane. Very nice lady. Very good support of the channel as well. So this is no shot at any of their supporters. But the people that decided to boo an injured Adam Reynolds where he was concussed, I thought it was disgusting. So I don't think Melbourne fans that are fans of the channel, I don't think they will encourage that at all.
No, they wouldn't. They'll understand too that it was disrespectful and not okay. If Parramatta Eels fans did that, I would be bloody fuming with them. If Cowboys fans did it, Nick, how would you feel? Far out.
I'd be disgusted, bro, because like
I'd be ashamed with my set of fans that we represent.
exactly right. You don't want to see anyone get injured and get booed. I thought that was really poor from the some of the fans. Anyway, we'll go to some of the stats. We'll have a quick look at some of the stats. But before we do that, I just want to reveal, in case everyone doesn't know, the try scores from the game. So Munster scored first, which yours truly nailed. Tuesday, my NRL preview with CJ. I said Munster would score first. Nailed it. I was close to the bloody margin. I had Melbourne by 6. Gee, I was close to getting that right. And so tries to Munster, Warbrick, Olam. Warbrick had 2 tries. For the Broncos, tries to Herbie Farnworth, Jesse Arthurs, and Corey Pack. So I nailed the Cameron Munster first try score prediction. That was a good one. Melbourne won the game 24-16 by 8. Now let's go to some of the stats.
Okay, let's go. Let's do it.
Look at some of the stats here. So Melbourne obviously had more ball, 53%. Brisbane had 47%. Completion rate, Melbourne's was 86%. Brisbane's was 75%. So Melbourne were probably a bit better with the football tonight, TJC, than the Broncos, but you can't, the Broncos' coach was pretty incredible, wasn't it?
Oh, mate, the fact that they didn't have their main playmaker for, over half, what was it, 80, 90% of that game? Yeah. It was ridiculous. To put up the fight they did with the fact that the Storm didn't really lose any major players for the majority of it is absolutely unbelievable. And I kept believing in Broncos right until the final minute.
But it also needs to be mentioned as well, Melbourne had 37 missed tackles. Brisbane only had 21.
37?
Brother, Brisbane had 21 missed tackles, and they played 60 minutes of this game down to 13-12. Incredible.
Far out, man. I did not know that stat. Then again, I didn't exactly jump straight to the stats. I jumped straight to this after doing my review. I mean, not review.
So the penalty count was 9-all. 18 penalties in a game, maybe a little overkill. And Melbourne had a 6-1, 6 against in their favour. That's pretty bad.
They got so many 6 against in their favour. I didn't even remember. Broncos got a 6 again, far out. I didn't even remember that.
Yeah, not many of them. I think it might have been when they were on the attack or around halfway or something. Unbelievable. Anyway, it was a controversial game of football. It was physical. I knew it would be physical. I thought Brisbane were fairly hard done by some of the decisions tonight. And look, this is coming from me. I hate the Broncos. I fucking hate their guts.
Of course you do, mate.
I really do. I hate them. I genuinely hate them. But I thought they had a lot of bullshit go against them tonight. I really do.
Well, seeing them do so well absolutely pains me because of the fact that I tipped them. I really wish I tipped Melbourne, but I was just form and shit. I had to. Yeah. I was back in the Bronx to do that first win since 2016, and it just did not happen.
The reason why I tipped Melbourne was because, 1, it was in Melbourne. 2, Brisbane haven't really shown anything outside of Queensland because they've been up there so much. They won around 1 against Penrith in Sydney. They haven't really played outside of Queensland a whole lot. And I thought Melbourne don't usually have 2 bad games in a row like that. So I thought Melbourne at home would get them. But they were pretty lucky to win tonight, Melbourne, to be fair.
Oh, mate, they got more than lucky. Credits to them. They got the win, and they can't control what happened. But,
yeah.
I don't know if, as a neutral, I'm too happy with it.
Yeah. Just quickly, shout out to the Broncos. I thought their effort was fantastic. They spent 65 minutes without Adam Reynolds, and they spent 60 minutes with a 13-12 advantage against them. So to only lose by 8 against Melbourne is a very incredible effort.
Oh, it's a massive. It's an incredible effort that you don't see often from teams when that kind of thing happens to them. At the end, a lot of teams would just give up, but I guess that's what separates the top teams from the teams down below.
Exactly right. Now, before we go, just quickly, I'd love to know, TJC, who would your man of the match be from the Storm Broncos game tonight? Besides Todd Smith.
Besides Todd Smith. Oh my god. Look, I feel like there were a lot of players that really, really shined today, but if I had to call one, maybe, and I think this may surprise. Can I call one for Storm and one for Broncos?
Yeah, if you want, bro. I'm not going to stop
Well,
you.
for the Broncos, I'd go Reece Walsh. I thought he had a great game today.
100%.
Reece Walsh was absolutely incredible. The reason I picked Reece Walsh is because I really, really don't want to put the man of the match as a winner from a losing team.
Yeah.
Team. You know what I mean? I feel like the winners deserve a bit of a shout, and if I had to go for a winner, maybe I thought Harry Grant was great down the number 9 position, I guess, maybe.
Yeah, look, I'm with you. I'm with you there. I thought Reece Walsh was probably the best player for the Broncos. For the Storm, though, the best player in the field, I thought Munster was outstanding. I thought he was very good, Munster.
Mate, in my head, I was going, do I go Grant or Munster? Do I go Grant? But Munster, mate, has been absolute. This game was absolutely brilliant, and I'm so upset, that I say this as an Eels fan. I'm so sad that in my fantasy I went with freaking Dillbags instead.
Oh no. Yeah, look, I'm going to give it I'm giving man the match to Cameron Munster. Also, a bit of a little shout out to Nick Meaney at fullback. He's been an unsung hero in Melbourne ever since Pappenhausen was rolled out. He's been playing really well too.
Well, we keep hearing, they're missing Pappen, and they're definitely missing Pappen. But Nick Meaney, I don't know whether he's fully gotten all that credit for how good he's actually been for them. He's done that position so well. Not only has he gotten the job done every game, but there's been games where he's been like the star of the field. He has been brilliant. He better not be let out of the side when
Ryan Pappenhausen comes back. They're going to have a huge headache where to put Nick Meaney. I reckon they might put him on the bench. He's a good player though.
He's got to be the 14, right?
He's got to be.
He's got to be. You can't kick him out of the 17 after how damn good he's been. Like, honestly, I could see a world where they put him on the wing, but I don't think it'll happen. I think he'll be 14.
I don't think Warbrick will be replaced. Everyone is saving coach. So yeah, probably the bench.
Yeah, definitely. If he's gonna not be kicked out and not picked wing, I think he's gonna go with the bench because it's probably the smartest move for the team overall.
Yeah, exactly right.
Plus, their bench looks a lot better with Nick Meaney there.
Oh, mate, terrifying. All right, TJC Sports, mate, that's going to wrap up the review for Thursday Night Football, Melbourne versus Brisbane. Thanks for coming on, bro. It's been a great review, and
no problem.
The live chat's been fantastic as well. We've had a fairly good crowd here too.
Oh, we've had a great review today. I've been really impressed with this one. Chemistry going good, dude. Let's go.
Chemistry getting better and better. All right, bro. Well, make sure you guys check out TJC on YouTube. He's just hit 2,000 subscribers. He definitely
3,000. Let's go. Next.
Shout out to TJC Sports. His channel is on fire at the moment. Anyway, guys, we're out of here. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday night. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for the Bulldogs Warriors live reaction and whatnot. Anyway, guys, until next time, have a phenomenal night. We'll see you later. Melbourne Storm 24, Brisbane Broncos 16.